Welcome to the second edition of LowellArts Featured Artist Series, connecting you with the people behind the music. This monthly feature will offer audiences a personal insider's view into the current music scene from the perspective of the West Michigan's talented performers. We're happy today to be here in the studio with one of West Michigan's award-winning musician and composer, Roger MacNaughton.
So that piece that I just was playing is called "Moving Ahead," and I just started working on it. It came to me last week, just that little first part, and I thought, man, this would lay well for John Montgomery, my friend who plays the tenor sax so well.
Yes, he does.
And we do a lot of recording together. So I thought, let's finish this track. And I've been working on it, for about a week.
Yeah.
And I thought what I'd do is play you the tracks that I've recorded so far.
Okay.
He hasn't played on it yet, but he will.
Awesome.
And so what I'll do is the sax part isn't on here, that melody, but I'll play along to that, and I'll add in that you will be playing, sort of.
All right.
Although he'll make it sound 1,000 times better than what I'm going to do.
Oh,
here.
I know. I've heard him. He's awesome.
So here it is, moving ahead so far. And it goes on like that.
Wow. That sounds great. I can't wait to hear John on it, because
I
I know how good John is. I've heard him play. He's a phenomenal sax player. Well, we are happy once again to be here with Roger. And of course, I don't want to give away his age, his youthful age, but I know he's been playing music for over 50 years, starting in Lowell High School with the Headhunters. And his musical journey, he's taken many sidetracks over those 50 years and played in many different bands, and has finally come down to this beautiful little spot where he, I think, enjoys most of all just sitting and composing. And you got to hear one of those pieces, or beginning of those pieces, which I can't wait to hear the final product. So how did you get started in music?
Well, you don't want to give away my age, but I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead.
I was 7 when I started playing the piano. I was taking piano lessons from Mrs. Wachtehauser in Lowell, Michigan.
What, the Hauser?
Wachtehauser.
Okay.
She was a grand old lady and just taught me how to read music and to appreciate music. So start with her. And that was 64 years ago. So do the math. I won't say it, but it's hard for me to say it.
Yeah.
But it's a long time.
Yeah. Well, we're all up in that age where
He's a little younger.
muscles don't work good and all that kind of good stuff. Now, I know you're a Spartan. You graduated from Michigan State with a music degree. I know in high school that you were a percussionist.
Yes.
And you graduated from Michigan State with a percussion degree.
Yes.
And I also know that you played in different bands over the years, that you played flute, guitar, piano, just a man of much versatility. So what is your main instrument? What would you say is your main
definitely
instrument?
the piano. definitely the piano.
Okay.
There was a time when I wanted to become a guitarist. I really love to hear a good guitar player, especially like my friend Mike Hyde, who's
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
all my life he's been playing in bands with me, and I just love guitar. But I at some point I thought, you know what, I'm not good enough at piano yet, so I might as well just stick with that. And I've kind of given up the guitar, although once in a while I pull it out.
Well, you're a great rhythm player for
Yeah. I loved playing guitar.
a great rhythm player, but
band. That was fun.
this is definitely your
Yeah, definitely.
definitely beautiful stuff. What were some of your influences growing up when you come in and create music over the years? What influenced you? What groups or what?
Yeah, piano-wise, I'd say a gentleman. Well, George Winston, of course, the great piano player.
James?
Dave Grusin.
James? Bob James?
Bob James, definitely. Those guys were all heroes of mine. Dave Grusin is a monster, and I'm 1/1000th of him, but I'm always trying to be more like him.
Sure.
But growing up, I'd say the 70s was my favorite decade of musicianship. There was a lot of virtuosity, and those were bands that were taking chances, taking risks, and I just loved the music. But all styles. My problem is I love too many styles.
Well, overall, your CDs that you've made, which is what, 12 or?
Yeah, 12.
You have all kinds. You've done a Christmas CD with originals, old tunes. You've done a jazz CD, kind of bluesy CD.
Yeah.
So you've experienced. If you haven't bought any CDs, hopefully you'll have a chance to do that later down the road. Now I know your latest CD, which was your residency program in Mackinac Island. You went up there for 2 weeks, got to spend just time with your keyboard and enjoy Mackinac Island, and write a wonderful CD that's just came out in December.
Yes.
I think it's available now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know how much you like to collaborate. And on that CD, I know you collaborated with 3 or 4 or 5 different musicians around there. And you have collaborated with numerous musicians in Grand Rapids area over the years doing other CDs. Why was collaboration so important to you?
Well, collaboration is what's fun about that is to write something and to hear what someone else brings to the table. Like when I play live, I'll write things or I'll bring in arrangements, and just to hear what these people come up with. And they're all great improvisers. I'm going to name a few. Charlie Holtz, bass player. John Montgomery, who we talked about, the sax player. Eddie Eicher on drums, and sometimes Steve Anzavino. Mike Hyde, guitarist. Tammy Helm, vocalist. She and I are working on a CD project right now of all original tunes that I've written, but what she brings is just incredible. No, who else?
Van Raven's Way?
Kyle Rashi, who sang on one of the tunes on the new Mackinac Island CD, is a phenomenal talent. But they're just, always they're bringing these people in.
Susan Mora is one of your...
Yeah, I knew I'd forget something.
Van Ravensway over the cover. She passed.
Steve Van Ravensway.
And Susan Mora.
Last summer.
Done some beautiful stuff.
That's hard.
That's some great stuff.
But he was my musical collaborator in Mac Raven, the piano cello thing. Susan Mora, incredible talent, just incredible.
Now, I know 2020 has been real tough for all musicians in the West Michigan area, and not being able to perform live, we've come up with different ways. Roger was featured a couple of weeks ago, I think, Roger, at St. Cecilia's first virtual concert series, and I think that was the first time you've been able to play live in over a year, right?
Well, almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah,
So how did 2020 change your approach on how you create and perform your music?
obviously there was a loss of gigs.
Yeah.
I'm getting to the age where I've slowed down a bit with gigs, but I still enjoy doing them.
Right.
Our band Soul Access was supposed to play at the Lowell Sizzlin Summer this summer. It got
Right.
postponed a couple times, and then the whole series was canceled. That was a heartbreaker for me because I've worked so hard to get the arrangements for that. But your question is, how did it change? I lost the gigs, but so I spend more time here in the studio and writing. And I often tell people I'm kind of a homebody anyway, so I being in the studio is.
You're in heaven.
Yeah, I'm in heaven.
You're in heaven. You're where you want to be.
Heaven.
Yes, I know.
I'm in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the best way we can support you and other musicians in West Michigan?
Oh, well, for me, it's you can find me on Facebook.
Right.
That's MacNaughton, M-A-C, or my website, which is just rogermacnaughton.com, and I'm trying to get all my albums on there, my CD projects,
Yeah.
Videos, sheet music. I'm trying to do more, getting more sheet music out to the public, and so you can go there. But other musicians, I can't really live stream. We live out here in the country, but some of my buddies are live streaming, and you can support them by.
I know Mike and Edie High do a Sunday virtual concert every Sunday at 7 or something, and then a lot of them are doing that. So that's the way we can
tipping, do it. It's a great way to support
Yeah.
these musicians who really need that income more than I do because
There's no gigs. You're not making any money.
Yeah.
Of course, it's still $100 a job, the way it was back in the '60s or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I saw something on Facebook that said a musician got paid $8 in 1930 or whatever, and if you allow for it, turns out to be $100. So they were making $100 50 years ago, the same as we are now today. So, well, we would like to thank Mr. MacNaughton here and Heiser Lake in his beautiful, quiet, peaceful studio, and he's going to treat us to a tune here. That is it another original, recent or something?
No, this one's older. I wrote it several years ago, but I just love to play it. It lays well on the piano. So it's called, what is it called? Shenandoah Skyline. Shenandoah Skyline. And before I do that, I'd just like to say thanks again to Mr. Croft here for volunteering to do this. And the LowellArts and all the people there, Lorraine Smalligan and Janet Tunis.
Yeah.
Not too many people know that Dale is a very, very, very fine bass player. Plays bass in Alive and Well, the band, and also he's the impetus for the great band, the Addams Family, and that's their real name but they're not kooky and.
No, we're not. We don't have. Yeah, we don't have Lurch in the band.
No, well, maybe a little bit kooky, but anyway, this is Shenandoah Skyline, and thank you.
Okay, thank you, and we'll see you next month.